Recording. So welcome. Thank you for being here today. I'm looking forward to this half hour of sharing some material with you. I'll leave some time maybe in the middle or at the end for questions if you have questions, but for the beginning, it's mostly just going to be offering some tools which I find very portable, easy, practical. If I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed or unsettled in any way, finding ways that I can bring myself back to a state of groundedness and calm. And I'm finding that they're so useful. I thought maybe they'd be useful for some other people. And I'm teaching a longer course, and not everybody has time for that. It's quite a deep dive. And so just wanting some tools to go out there and be available without having to do a longer course or understanding the physiology and the theory and the details that are behind it. But just so today, it's just giving practical tools without explaining too much of the background. Just what do I do in the immediacy of needing to just calm down, find some ground, and just maybe the basic underlying principle is that feeling safe is a state in my body. It can be a body state. It's not about, is there a threat or not in the environment? Am I actually safe or not? There's a certain level of feeling safe that has to do with my physical, with my physicality. And that's where, hello, Anna, welcome. And that's where I can make conscious choices about how I engage with myself as a body in order to just to support certain states that give me a sense of feeling calm. So I'm going to share three ways that I find most helpful. And the first one is orienting. Finding a sense of where I am. And the first way of orienting is literally to look around and see where I am, see the space that I'm in. So I'm going to invite you now to allow your eyes to sort of move away from the computer and let your gaze wander. So letting your vision surf over textures and volumes in your space, whatever space you're in. And the first intention is really to sweep and wander with your gaze and allowing your head to follow your vision. So you're allowing your head to move. Your head is kind of surfing on the intention of seeing where you are. So it's a broad sweep, it's a wandering kind of vision. And every now and then, pausing and letting your eyes focus on one detail in your space, one detail. So either letting that detail kind of grab your attention or choosing something that your eyes are going to land on and looking at it in detail, looking at its color, its texture. For a few seconds, and then again letting your eyes wander. So letting go of that one focus and coming back into a much more broad vision, letting your neck and head follow the curiosity of seeing where you are. including above you and behind you. Maybe underneath you. And again, once more, allowing your vision to land on something specific. Focus in, look at the detail of one object. Just appreciating the specificity of its color, of its shape. And then letting your eyes, again, sweep, take in where you are. It's very concrete and simple. You're orienting, you're situating your experience. You're locating yourself in space. And this is already informing your body. It's informing your nervous system about what's around you, where you're located. It's starting to build ground for feeling safe. For me, this alone is enough. I'll start sighing. I might yawn as soon as I start looking around, and I've already changed states. So that might be enough. I'll give you a few more little tools, but if you're feeling, this one is particularly helpful if you find that your mind is in a loop with thoughts, and that your anxiety is taking the form of anxious thought, particularly anxious thought, to bring my awareness and my perception to where I am in space, shifts the dynamic and gives a counterpoint to where my attention is going and what's being fed in my nervous system. So I'm broadening the frame. And the second part of orienting is also a kind of here I am, but it's here I am. So there's locating myself in space, orienting through vision, with literally sweeping, seeing where I am and focusing in on a detail now and again, and letting that alter my state, letting that alter my breath. And then the second way of orienting and locating is I like placing my hands somewhere on my body, anywhere that feels comfortable. Sometimes it's my face, sometimes it's my neck or my chest. Could be putting my hands on my legs, just placing them on my knees. And taking a moment to feel the contact of the palms of my hands with the contours of the shape of my body. You could take a moment to do that now. Again, perhaps taking your gaze away from the screen. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, I find that helpful sometimes. And you can also just let your eyes rest somewhere in your environment. So you could close your eyes and place your hands. And it doesn't really matter where your hands are, and feel free to let them wander in contact with the shape of you. And this is another way of orienting. It's feeling myself under my own hands. It's another way of knowing I'm here. I'm here under my hands, in my hands. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes I like to add feeling the contact of where I'm touching the earth. I'm feeling the contact with my chair, contact with the floor, or the couch, or a rug, or wherever it is that I'm meeting the earth, bringing my awareness to that contact. And that is also where I am. I am here. I'm here under my hands. I'm here touching this part of the earth, this chair, this couch. And allowing any sighs or yawns or breaths to adjust to that information. And I can just stay here. So, orientation. Orienting to space, to the space I'm in, and orienting to myself, where my body is, where I am as a body on earth. Just feeling when the time is right for you to open your eyes again. Or just notice how your state is now. And this form of orienting to myself, I find particularly helpful when there's a kind of overwhelm coming from the outside. If the outside environment or the news cycle or the demands of the day around me are a little much and overwhelming, this kind of orienting is particularly helpful. So when the overwhelm is coming from inside me, sometimes orienting in space is helpful. And when there's a level of stress or too much information coming from the outside, maybe this kind of orienting is helpful. Just to give some pulsation and breath movement happening between me and the environment. There isn't just the environment, or there isn't just me. There's a pulse and a relationship between me and the world, and so you could play with either of those ways, and it doesn't take long. Maybe 1 minute of seeing where I am is enough. And taking a pause, taking a break, maybe moving into another room if there are people around, and just situating myself under my hands or in contact with what I'm touching can be enough. So that's the first skill is orienting. The second is, again, supporting a sense of feeling safe in my body is related to how my heartbeat and my breath, my breathing patterns are interacting. And I can influence a state of calm in my system by choosing how I breathe, which directly affects my heart rate and my whole state. Particularly helpful are going to be long, deep out breaths, exhales. So singing is amazing because take a deep in breath, and then your out breath is going to be sustained and long in the singing, and that's directly going to change. Yeah, yawning, Kamnush, awesome. Yawns are another wonderful way. If you can make yourself yawn, that's actually engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, or can even forget that, but just yawning will ground yourself in a calming, soothing physical state. If you see somebody yawn, you can always try to catch that wave, try to steal somebody's yawn. And luckily, it's very contagious. So that's really a gift we can give to each other, is to yawn in each other's faces and pass the yawns around. So yawning and deep, sustained out breath. There are many, many ways to practice the long exhale, forms of yoga, pranayama, different kinds of breathing that work in this way and affect this way. I like to just exhale with sound, with any sound, any sustained sound that comes at any pitch, because the vibration of my own voice is also affecting. So there's the fact that I'm exhaling, there's the fact that I'm hearing my own voice, and it tunes into a listening state. And the listening state supports also this calming physiology. So there's the exhale, there's the listening, and I'm feeling the vibration of my own voice. So there are three things happening at the same time if I exhale and sound at the same time. I'm offering vibration, so I'm feeling my own tissues, my cells, myself as a body. I'm tuning into a listening state, and I'm offering the sustained exhale that calms my heartbeat. So basically, it's today it might sound like a so today's a particularly low tone in me. Sometimes the pitch could be higher. Doesn't really matter where it goes. So maybe you might want to try that. I did it here. I like to have my hands on me. I feel the vibration. It's also part of orienting, but maybe just where you are now, taking a breath that feels comfortable and easy without forcing the inhale. And then allowing your voice to join the out breath. And it doesn't have to sound nice. There's no perfect pitch. It's just the vibration of your own voice, wherever that goes today. You can try that. And then just landing in the silence behind your breath, landing in the silence after your exhale, and noticing anything you notice in your sensations. You might want to move a little bit. You might want to stretch or just roll your neck or your arms or anything that comes up, allowing yourself to move or shift in your chair. You don't have to hold any posture. You don't have to hold anything. So again, I find this extremely portable. I can do this anywhere. Just knowing that a long, sustained out breath directly supports calming. And if I can add my voice, I'm multiplying the effects by entering a listening state. And I'm being touched by the sound of my own voice. In any circumstance where a conversation is being a little tense, for example, I can always just go to the bathroom, close the door, and take one deep, long exhale with some sound, and I will be a different person a minute later. So it's also a short, small, practical. And really taking care of the transition after the out-breath to be with the silence, the sensations, the movement that comes up afterwards. So there's the long out-breath, and then there's the space behind it, letting yourself just rest for a few seconds in the space behind it. Again, without forcing the in-breath, without pushing the air, without holding any kind of posture, without turning it into a project. So that was the second one. And the third for today is it's kind of connected to orientation, to our eyes. It's the embodied sense of feeling safe is connected to peripheral vision. So very centered, focused vision is more a state of alertness. If my body perceives threat, my sight is actually going to go into very focused vision because I need to see what's happening and I'm coming into a state of alertness. If I choose to soften my gaze, to find a place of rest in my eyes, I'm actually giving my the interpretive part of my brain the message that I am safe. It's kind of there's signals going in all directions, but I can. So I might want to lightly brush my eyes and allow the muscles around my eyes to smooth out, to melt a little bit. I'm just feeling the softness of the skin around your eyes, softness of your face. And our eyeballs are actually resting on these little pads of grease, of fat. So there's these little pillows of fat around our eyeballs that are giving them some soft, cushy landing, and giving them some fluid, soft, liquid, almost liquid state for our eyes. And if your eyes are open, it's a little bit, you can imagine as if your eyes were resting at the back of your skull. So your eyes aren't pushing forward, but they're gently resting backwards. When I do this, I can feel quite clearly that my neck frees up, my head starts moving by itself when I do that. So I'm letting my eyes just rest backwards. And if you're not really sure what that means, don't worry. Just kind of what could that mean? And another way that's possible to support this also is to keep your eyes looking forward, but to move your fingers on the sides of your head a little bit, and just letting your eyes see whatever they see, your fingers moving on both sides when your eyes stay looking forwards. Again, allowing your breath or whatever movement comes up from that. So softening the gaze and allowing peripheral vision to come in. Allowing your head and neck to move in any way that might appear after that. Is actually giving your own body, your whole body, information that you don't need a focused attention right now because you are safe. So if your heart rate is moving up, if your breath is getting fast, or if you're getting excited, those are states in which your focus is going to start getting sharp and clear. And if you want to, if you're in a situation where you would rather have a calmer state and support more of a sense of groundedness, just to know that softening your gaze can already be helpful. That's another one that's very portable. No one has to know you're doing that. You can be in any situation and soften your gaze, come into peripheral vision, let your eyes move back a little bit in your head, and just take a little break within yourself. Sighing is welcome. Yawning, sighing. So the third is peripheral vision, soft gaze. And these are combinable in many different ways. I could look around my space. I might end by softening my gaze. I might put my hands somewhere on me and do a long out breath. And then I might move a bit, letting whatever movement comes up. So you can weave with these three, combine them, play with these orienting, long out breath, and soft gaze, peripheral vision in different ways for a few minutes whenever you find that helpful. So those are our three for today. I'm going to stop the recording here, and then I'll take some questions, or if you want to share your experience. So thank you.